Good morning, good morning. Y'all know I'm a singer, come on. So the other night, as I was puttering around, um, I was really, thinking deeply, and it really is very glaringly apparent that when you have been dealt a deep trauma, especially from childhood. So this is really it can happen when you're older, but this is more specific, I think, to people who have been dealt trauma in childhood. You tend to form protective barriers around yourself because you end up not being able to trust what's around you, namely the human adults in your life. But by extension, I think it teaches you not to trust and rely on God. Because in our heads, we're taught that God can do anything. And yes, we know this is true. But for a child, working that out in a child's innocent head means God is coming to my rescue when all of the hurts and traumas, the big stuff, not the big stuff happens, we are taught to trust and believe that God is coming. And so when the big stuff happens and then God doesn't come and save us from those big things, it makes us also not trust God. Or you know what? In my case, it made me not trust God. And as a result of that, what I've come to discover is when it comes to really trusting God, I've always bet on myself. I've always found safety. I've always found trust in me. Even when it comes to the relationships that I form, it's easier for me to trust me or bet on my own safety because I know Tia got me. Tia got me. If don't nobody else do, Tia do. And that is something that God has strategically been tearing down in the season of 46. I think in my head that I trust God, but when I'm really wrestling with some big stuff, I know I'm not trusting that God is going to handle it. I know that I see myself as someone that God is not going to come through like he's come through multiple times for those around me. I have dealt with that. I'm still largely dealing with it. I'm being very transparent and honest. And I know it is because of childhood trauma. And that's the part that people don't really dive into. And I see it so much in people of the faith. You deal with childhood trauma, but we grow up in church. We do church. And that is a serious problem when we're talking about the season that we're in, that God has begun to reveal stuff, not just on a large scale, but really reveal stuff about us. He digging in. He got to uproot all that stuff because there has definitely been a shift. I'm telling you. But I will encourage you that if you have experienced some deep-rooted childhood trauma, if you are not taking the time to really work on that, you need to do the deep work and really turn that stuff over to God, because if you're not moving. You're not going forward. If you're not doing that, you are not growing. You are not going forward. You are steadily just stuffing and wearing a mask. And you got to do that work. And you got to trust God. You got to trust that God is actually going to finally catch you and that you ain't got to catch yourself. You got to finally trust. You have to trust with your whole entire heart that you have spent so many years trying to protect from hurt and harm. Or you know what? Let me be honest. That's me. I ain't going to say it's y'all. That's just me. But that's what I've been learning in this season of 46 that has been wrecking me. So, y'all have a good day. Bye.